Hello, everybody. Welcome to a post-practice report, instant reaction to day 10 of Seahawks training camp. Sorry, I'm going to get my stuff out of the way of some of the Seahawks staff as they're clearing off the field. Lots of stories for the day. Biggest one was that Gino Smith is back. Was on the field, took all the snaps, looked like no limitations from what I could see. Had a nice practice, completed a number of passes. And continues to be very clearly the best quarterback on this roster. That's all right. Great to see Gino Smith back on the field. And I think as far as probably the plays of the day, George Halani absolutely trucked Artie Burns to go into the end zone on one run, which had everybody hooting and hollering. There was another run by, who was it? Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker had a great classic Kenneth Walker shifty run, probably 20 yards around the end for a touchdown. So the run game kind of came alive today, which was good to see. But really the defense generally, for my money, won the day again. The pressure is increasing. It is moving up on the quarterbacks. I told you on the Sunday or Saturday scrimmage that the edge pressure started to come alive, and it's true. The edge pressure, Boye Mafe, Chenna Nwosu, those guys, Derek Hall, had good games in the scrimmage. But there's also been increasing, blitzing from the corners. Devin Witherspoon is just an assassin coming off the edge. He times it up so perfectly. He's like a predator out there. He is looking at the quarterback's eyes. When the quarterback's checked him and then he looks away, that's when Witherspoon starts his move. He knows that he's going to get that just extra step or two by waiting just a minute until the quarterback looks away, and then he comes tearing off the edge. And he had probably 2 sacks today. Great to see him. I think Artie Burns had a knockdown off of cornerback blitz today. He may have had a sack. There are a number of plays. Julian Love had a forced fumble on it after reception. I think Jake Bobo caught the ball. Julian Love came in, knocked it away for a fumble, but Bobo recovered. But the defense was swarming, had a really good day. I think the other thing of note today was, sorry guys, my head's spinning. The other thing of note today was Olu Oluwatimi. This is a guy that is battling for that starting spot. I think the expectation was he was going to be the starter, and he's been given every chance to be the starter, and he just hasn't gotten it yet. Partly injury, partly performance. But today, he had a pretty solid 1v1 against two reps against Byron Murphy, who's not easy to block, folks. And the first one, Byron Murphy did what he does. He came full bull rush, all his explosiveness and power, and Olu held up. And quite honestly, that was the most impressive rep I've seen from Olu Oluwatimi in his 2 years as a Seahawk, because that is his weakness, is being able to hold up to significant, strong interior pressure coming right at him. And he did it. And he did it well on that rep. And then he had to set up for the second rep because they do 2 in a row. And there's Byron Murphy looking at him again. And this time, Byron Murphy took a couple steps. Olu kind of gave a little bit of ground intentionally. And Byron Murphy kind of lost his balance, and Olu pushed him down to the ground. And it looked worse than it was, but this is something that Byron's had happen in a number of reps where he gets out a little bit over his heels and is off balance, and the offensive linemen are able to push him down. So it's a good thing that he's learning and working on. But still, it was great to see Olu have 2 reps in a row there where he held up against Byron Murphy, who's not easy to do that against in 1v1. They were rotating Olu and Nick Harris. Coach McDonald talked about that in his press conference after practice and said the competition's on, and said Nick Harris is doing well and Olu's got to hold him off. So I think it's good news that they are increasing the competition at that position. You know, continue to see what happens there. And then otherwise, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's a couple nice passes to JSN today over the middle. He continues to be the mayor of the middle. My words, not theirs. And having a nice camp. Tariq Woolen, again, just is becoming a very hard corner to throw at. He gave Gino and DK Metcalf everything they could handle today. And I don't know if I saw them complete a pass to DK Metcalf against Tariq Woolen. And that's after starting their first few practices with DK Metcalf and Gino Smith basically completing every pass. So just continues to be a very encouraging camp for Tariq Woolen. The other guy that I should have mentioned earlier is Mike Morris. He is coming on. He is coming on strong. I just finished an interview with him that I will post for YouTube members, club level and above, once I get back to the press room. And it was a great conversation, great guy. And, you know, he's still talking about needing to increase his confidence, get there with what he wants, to feel like the same swag that he had back in Michigan. But he was great. He had at least one, maybe two sacks today. He is lining up outside and in, being able to create pressure outside and in. I think this is the best he's looked. And I talked about, you know, his excitement to actually play in his, you know, preseason game against the Chargers. And he's talking about how much he's looking forward to facing his old coach and coaches, and how much he wants to make a play and make sure that they all know about it. So Mike Morris, you know, he started slow in camp, to be really honest, but he's coming on strong. He's becoming a factor, and this is a guy that Mike McDonald talked about after the scrimmage on Saturday, that he's a guy you can feel inside and out. And when I told that to Mike Morris, he was like, "He really said that?" He was pretty excited about that. So, you know, I think things are coming together nicely on that defensive line. I think the defense is making a lot of strides. I think it still's got a lot of room to go. But right now, the pendulum has swung, and it's the defense that seems to be having the advantage in most practices. I will say this is Gino Smith's first practice back in a little while, a little bit of rust, a little bit of time, but it's still such a marked difference when Gino Smith is out there making the checks, making the reads, dumping the ball off, finding open guys. He operates this offense at a far different level than someone like Sam Howell. And if you heard Coach McDonald on Brock and Salk this morning, he wasn't mincing words. Sam Howell has not been his best, and I think they're looking for more out of him. So that was Gino. We're talking about Byron, JSN, Woolen. The other guy that I can't quite imagine, like McDonald was asked about his after practice, but I really feel like they want to get McClendon Curtis back to right guard. I think that he might be their best option at right guard. They can't really do it right now because Abe Lucas is out, but I do wonder about Mike Jarrell and what can happen there. And then, you know, if they feel good enough to have Mike Jarrell as a backup, which is a lot to ask, but if they have him as a backup right tackle, then maybe they'd feel comfortable moving Curtis back to right guard. Because honestly, I just think he's better. I think he's violent. I think he's a better all-around player than either Christian Haynes or Anthony Bradford right now. So I think he's a better version of Anthony Bradford, is kind of the way I describe McClendon Curtis. I love the energy he plays with, and I love the violence. He's just a very gritty lineman. So just something to monitor, something to watch for. Otherwise, I think that's most of it, guys. I mean, another great practice for Artie Burns. I think the secondary in general played well. And yeah, I think I'd leave it at that. So if you haven't already given the show a like and click subscribe, please do. If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw that we got a new member. Thomas Cox just joined as a YouTube member. Welcome to the family, Thomas. So great to have you. Please, everybody else, join. The link is in the description of the video. Would love to have more people part of the family. And I I think we're now 14 or 13 away from having enough new members, either YouTube or patreon.com/hawkblogger, that I will go to New England to cover the game on the road. So give it a try. Join as a YouTube member or a Patreon member or both. A lot of people are doing both. All right. Cheers to all of you. I will talk to you later, and go Hawks.